Welcome to part 2 of the ultimate South Island of New Zealand road trip itinerary. We are starting this week in Dunedin and ending it in Te Anau. If you're looking for information about exploring Kaka Point, the Catlins, or the eighth wonder of the world, Milford Sound, you definitely want to keep watching. My husband, 2-year-old, and I traveled around the South Island of New Zealand in December 2023, and it was an absolutely amazing experience. I highly recommend adding New Zealand to your family's travel bucket list if it isn't already on there. Now let's get into the itinerary. Picking back up in Dunedin, if you are wanting a great cup of coffee to start your day, head to the Daily Coffee Co. for some hot drinks. This local coffee shop is so cute and cozy and has great decor. They even have a wall of pictures called the Daily Coffee Dogs, which made us miss our Bichon named Keith, who is back home in Canada. Before leaving Dunedin, you should check out the views at St. Kilda and St. Clair Beach. It was really fun seeing all the dogs out on their morning walks. If you have kids, the nearby Marlow Park playground is huge and is the perfect place to get all that toddler energy out. We were overall really impressed by the size and variety of playgrounds in New Zealand. The next location you'll be heading to is Kaka Point, which is a 1 hour and 20-minute drive from Dunedin. Kaka Point is a small town at the northern edge of the Catlins and has limited food options available. As a note, I believe the main restaurant in town, the Point Cafe and Bar, is always closed on Sundays and Mondays. I recommend stocking up on food in Dunedin at a countdown before heading out there. Our accommodation in Kaka Point had the most gorgeous view of the ocean. This Airbnb had a full kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a spacious balcony. We loved just relaxing on the couch and looking at the water. After resting for a bit, you'll want to do the short drive out to the start of the Nugget Point Lighthouse Walk. This out and back moderately challenging hike is about 1.8 kilometers or 1.1 miles in distance and 308 feet in elevation gain. It is an absolute must do. You walk on a well-formed path right along the coast and get to take in the magnificent ocean and cliff views. At the end of the hike, you reach the lighthouse, which is one of the oldest in New Zealand, and you get a panoramic view of the coast. It's called Nugget Point because of the rocks dotting the water. On the way back from the Nugget Point hike, you can stop at Roaring Bay Penguins and Seals Observatory. It's a short walk from the parking lot, and you can sometimes catch a glimpse of yellow-eyed penguins. Unfortunately, there were none there when we went, but we still love seeing the bay. If it's a warm day, you can cool off in the water when you get back to Kaka Point. We really love being so close to the beach and really wished we could have stayed an extra day here. For dinner, we ordered from the Point Cafe and Bar and just took in the sunset from our balcony. We went to bed early because day 8 was absolutely jam-packed full of sightseeing. The Catlins is truly a hidden gem. The Catlins comprise the southeastern area of the South Island of New Zealand. The area is known for its stunning waterfalls, beautiful beaches, wildlife, and dense forests. It's the most remote area we visited while in New Zealand, so we recommend downloading Google Maps because service is not great, and you'll want to make many stops along your drive. We drove from Kaka Point all the way to Invercargill, but there are many places you can stay overnight in the Catlins if you want to take more time. The first waterfall of the day is a 30-minute drive from Kaka Point. Puarakanui Falls Walk is an easy 10-minute hike through the rainforest. Parking is easy to find as well. This is a beautiful 3-tiered cascading waterfall on the Puarakanui River and is a definite must-see. Next up is the Matai Falls Walk, which is a quick 10-minute drive from the Puarakanui Falls. On this hike, you can also see Horseshoe Falls. This walk is a 1.2-kilometer out and back trail and is fairly easy. Again, you get to explore the beautifully dense rainforest. You'll come to a fork in the path where if you go to the left, you'll get to view the 10-meter tall Matai Falls from a wooden platform. If you do the steep climb to the right, you'll also get to see Horseshoe Falls. Next stop is Florence Hill Lookout, which is a 12-minute drive from your last stop. At the Florence Hill Lookout, you get unobstructed views of the stunning coastline and ocean. We just sat and watched the waves rolling in for a while. The Cathedral Caves was next on our list, and I'm so glad we got to see them. I would really recommend fitting this stop into your day. It's a 10-minute drive from Florence Hill Lookout. The cost is 50 New Zealand dollars per adult, $5 for kids, and under 5 are free. First, you hike for about 980 meters downhill through the forest to get to the beach. You then have a 10-minute walk along Wapiti Beach to get to the cliffs. The caves are only open certain times of year and certain times of day, so make sure to check the website before you go. There are 2 C-form passages that are 200 meters long. They are also 30 meters in height, which makes them super impressive. Walking through these caves was such a cool experience. Next, you'll want to head to the McLean Falls Walk, a 10-minute drive from the Cathedral Caves. This hike is a 2.1 kilometer or 1.3 mile there and back trail and is decently easy. Parking was also easy to find. McLean Falls is a spectacular 22-meter cascade waterfall that you can get quite up close to. It's on the Tataku River in Catlins Forest Park. You'll probably be losing steam by this time in the day, but you'll want to press on because this next stop is pretty spectacular. Slope Point is the southernmost point of the South Island of New Zealand. To get to the sign, you do an easy 10-minute walk one way. From the cliff edge, you get beautiful views of the ocean waves. As you can see, it was super windy when we came here. You will also get to see the iconic windswept trees. Last stop in the Catlins is the historic Waipapa Point Lighthouse, a 22-minute drive from Slope Point. This lighthouse was first lit on January 1st, 1884. There's a large parking lot, and there are bathrooms here too. The lighthouse is a short walk from the parking lot, and you can sometimes see sea lions and other wildlife here. We unfortunately did not get to see any wildlife here, but we did get beautiful scenic views of the sand dunes, coast, and ocean. From the lighthouse, it's about a 50-minute drive to Invercargill. In Invercargill, we stayed in our first hotel of the trip, Quest Serviced Apartments, which was in walking distance to shopping and restaurants. Invercargill is the southernmost and westernmost city in New Zealand, and one of the southernmost cities in the world. I'm not sure if it's just the day we were there, but the city felt very empty. After that long day, we got some ice cream at Temptations Cafe and later ordered pizza from Frankton Pizzeria. If you have more time in Invercargill, I'd recommend exploring Queen's Park. On day 9, you'll be heading to Te Anau, which is about an hour and 50-minute drive. We felt like we were getting a bit burnt out, so we decided to take it easy this day and didn't add in any extra stops. I'd recommend stopping at the nearby Brood Cafe in Invercargill for some coffee and breakfast, or a pastry before heading out. Te Anau is a gorgeous town that is the perfect base if you are planning to visit Milford Sound. It is known as being the gateway to Fiordland National Park. We stayed at Lakeside Motel and Apartments in Te Anau, which I found was a fairly affordable option. Our accommodation was quite spacious and had a balcony, with a gorgeous view of Lake Te Anau. This motel also had a trampoline and lots of green space, which my daughter really enjoyed. In the afternoon, you could take a stroll through Te Anau Gardens and the downtown area. We stopped in at the Southern Discoveries Visitor Center to get some information about the Milford Sound cruise we were doing the next day. We then walked along the path beside the water to the wharf at the Marakura Yacht Club at the southern end of the lake. Here you can get some great shots of the water and the mountains. It was also cool seeing the planes take off and land on the water. My daughter really enjoyed watching them. In the evening, we just enjoyed the beautiful sunset from our balcony. Day 10 is an extra exciting day because you'll be doing a Milford Sound cruise. This was one of the activities I was most excited for. I recommend doing a morning cruise because cruise ships become busier around midday and in the afternoon as more tourists arrive. We left Te Anau 3 hours before our cruise time, so that we had more than enough time to get to Milford Sound. It takes longer than you think it will to get there, and you don't want to cut it close. The views on the drive there were incredible. In Milford Sound, it rains there on average 182 days a year, and we just happened to luck out with a very sunny and warm day. There may not be as many waterfalls on the sunny days, but it's still absolutely spectacular. After a lot of research, I had decided to go with Southern Discoveries for our Milford Sound cruise, and we chose to do a cruise of the Sound plus a stop at the underwater observatory, which takes about 3 hours. Looking at their website, the cruise with the underwater observatory is now no longer available. Their basic nature cruise, which takes you all around the Sound, is 165 New Zealand dollars for adults, 5 to 14 years is $75, and under 5 is free. There are discounts for booking early and for families. They have a longer Discover More cruise and some other options, so you can choose what interests you the most. The sunny day ended up being perfect for my toddler because she could run around on the upper deck of the boat. You also have the option of getting a picnic lunch for the cruise, and we had ordered one for my toddler. It really helped to keep her entertained. The cruise was out of this world. I cannot recommend it enough. Milford Sound, which is sometimes referred to as the eighth wonder of the world, is a fjord within Fiordland National Park. The towering cliffs and giant waterfalls are breathtaking, and the lush green rainforest makes it all so pretty. We were able to see seals sunbathing on the rocks, and we even got to see dolphins. Our ship got right up close to a couple of waterfalls. A highlight was seeing Sterling Falls, which is a permanent waterfall with a 155-meter drop. It was absolutely magnificent. Seeing Mitre Peak was also very cool. It's the iconic mountain in the Sound that rises to 1,690 meters and has dramatic sheer cliffs. On our cruise, we stopped at the Milford Sound Observatory, which is a floating underwater observatory in Harrison Cove, and it's only accessible by boat. You walk down quite a few steps to a large underwater viewing room where you are 10 meters below sea level. We got to observe all the beautiful sea creatures up close. We also got to see rare black coral that is unique to Milford Sound. I'm planning to do a full video on our Milford Sound experience and all the different options of cruise ships, so definitely look out for that. After driving back to Te Anau, we spent some time playing on the trampoline at our hotel and just had a relaxing evening. That concludes the second part of this 1-month New Zealand South Island itinerary. From the beautiful beach and views at Kaka Point, to the gorgeous waterfalls, forests, and caves in the Catlins, to the absolutely magnificent Milford Sound, New Zealand truly has it all. If you like this video, please take a second to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss my next video. In my next video, I'll be detailing 5 days in Queenston and all the fun hikes and family activities that you can do there. If you have any questions about New Zealand travel, you can just leave them in the comments below, or let me know what your favorite part of this itinerary was. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.